Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I know it ain't afternoon for you, or for me. Sunday evening for me. But hope everyone's had a wonderful Tuesday morning so far. Don't forget to um drop a anniversary message down below in the comments from my mom and dad. Wish them well for today. It's their anniversary today, so if you're excited, let's get going. Birthdays, anniversaries, and prayer requests down below. You know the deal. And you know the deal with all the birthdays, anniversaries, prayer requests for yourself, and then the other stuff I used to say, but I'm not saying them now because I'm I'm a little PO'd about it. If you know those details, go back to and if you don't, go back to other videos for explanations. You'll see them at the beginning of the morning. The detailed ones are at the first video of the day. So those things are still in effect. Birthday goals, donations and all, those are still in effect. Just let me, if you go back to the other videos, you'll find out how to do it. And then I'm not going to beat around the bush, mess around with that one. But today's part, this was part two of today's 1538, the daily bread passage. We will be talking about reminder of God's presence. From Lisa M. Sammer, derived from Joshua 8, verse 1, which is our key verse of the day, verses 18 and 19 and 24 through 27, which will also be adding Joshua 7, 11, and 12 when I do the tag part. So, so reminder of God's presence from Lisa M. Samra. So, birthdays and anniversaries and prayer requests down below. You know the deal. Let's get going. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy the video at the end. So, but reminder of God's presence. Lisa writes, with branches of scraggly leaves growing upward like hands raised to the heavens. The unique trees we saw while hiking Joshua Tree National Park in California intrigued us. Many believe the trees were dubbed Joshua trees by pioneers, who were reminded by the trees of an Old Testament story where Joshua lifted high a javelin as a sign of God's presence and help. After entering Canaan, the Israelites needed God's help in battle, and after being defeated at the city of Ai, which I guess that's how you pronounce it, due to their sin in Joshua 7, 11, and 12, which the Israelites were likely afraid to fight the city again. But God encouraged Joshua, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Verse 1, which is our key verse. Then the Lord said to Joshua, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Then God told Then God told Joshua to hold out toward Ai the javelin that it is in your hand, for into your hand I will deliver the city. Verse 18. Joshua obeyed and did not draw back the hand that held out his javelin until the battle was won. Verse 26. It wasn't the javelin in Joshua's outstretched hands that secured the victory. Instead, it was a symbol of God's promise to help them and be with them. Okay. So, reminders of God's presence with us can be helpful when we face difficult challenges. A Bible verse displayed in our homes, a stunning picture of God's creation, a cross necklace, these things don't provide assistance, but God can use them to remind us of His promised presence and power. Always wondered that. I used to have a cross, uh, somewhat. I had a cross, it looked like a dog tag. You know how the dog tags are, how the shape of a dog tag. Well, I had one that had the little cross cut in out in it. And I used to wear it a lot when I was younger, when I had it. But I something I got bored of wearing it, or it just got to the point it got to be in. I mean, it wasn't a necklace. It was just a one of those little metal beaded chains that I had that was that it was sitting on. And I think either I got bored with it or it just got to the point where I couldn't wear it no more. So I put it up into a I put it drop it in a drawer or a box or something, and I don't even know what happened to it. It's probably in our little personal storage shed in one of my mini boxes that's got some of my old stuff in it. But I had that one. And I do have. I haven't got any more seen anymore lately. But the guy I met through Word of Life, that's why I've got my shirt on. His little ministry, he sent me some armbands, some wrist, some of those rubber bracelets. He sent me a bunch of armbands. Well, I asked to see if he had any more. Well, he hadn't had any more, but Keep Believing Ministries. He has his channel on YouTube, so go check him out. His name is Ray Pritchard. I met him at Water Life when he come through to teach. He come through during the fall portion of school, and then he came back in the springtime and did another class. But he's a pretty good guy, and to think that I always seen that book Anchor for the Soul and never knew who the guy was when I saw the name when I first saw the book. Well, to think that the person that wrote that book was exactly the same man as Ray Pritchard, and I got to actually meet him, and he's a pretty good guy. He's a pretty good Bible scholar, Bible teacher, and everything. But he's pretty good, and I can't wait for him to come back to come back to Florida again, and hopefully vehicle will be fixed and all next time he comes through that I can I know he was here in Florida for most of the winter, and then they had the conferences down there at World Life, and he was in there one week doing his teachings, and he stayed there at the camp RV park. He stayed there while doing the teachings, and he stayed there for a few months, basically for winter, the winter quarter, while the where he's actually from was in wintertime. He stayed down here, and while he was down here, he done things, and then he had to fly certain places for different events, stuff like that. But he's a good man. But next time he comes, I'm gonna try next time he comes through, get him to meet me over in one of the new sections of the villages. If you ever heard the villages of Florida, the different retirement um sections of that place. Well, they happen to have one out on the other side of Oklahoma, where we've got a post office box at. But they have one called Middleton, East Point. It's a new section. Well, in the Middleton part, it's where they've got the new Villages High School, where all the it's a private. It's basically a private school, or no charter. It's a chartered school, so it's different than public schools, but they still do things, and they've got all the new schools out there and everything. They've got a whole line of streets of shops and everything close by to the school, and then they have a restaurant that he loves that he very frequently sees. when he goes to Chicago, and there's another place he goes to that he loves that restaurant, and I know he goes to the got one that's there in Claremont. Well, we got one there in Middleton, and hopefully next time he comes through, I'll be able to drop him a note and let him tell him, ask him what day he's free or what day he's gonna come through, and have him meet me at that one. And I could go over there and meet him and just chat for a little while and have us a meal together, and maybe he can show me the ways of Portillo's. It's a very popular restaurant, so just happened to have one that close. And one in Claremont's not as close, but that one's the closest one. I've been to that section a few times delivering groceries, so I know how to get there. So it ain't that bad. And you wouldn't think it's that bad. You think about it, it's sorry. Get out of here, bug.